This video is related to pregnancy. So it occurred to me recently, I had an experience where I went to a general practitioner and he felt within his judgment and reason that it was a good idea to give his assistant instructions to abort the baby. And it's been about 5 weeks now. 4 or 5 weeks. I haven't really been keeping close track. 6 probably. Anyway, that's besides the point. So in that period of time, my mind has been really revisiting the situation and the holes of, it's just a strange thing to happen. First of all, I don't know anybody that it has happened to, and I don't know anybody who knows of anyone that it's happened to. So I've been going in prayer to God, asking him, well, these kinds of experiences, and while meditating and contemplating on it, know thyself was the central point there. It was like, how could I describe it? It was like a post-it note in my mind, know thyself. And I was like, know thyself. So everybody has groups and cliques, friends, little social clubs and stuff that they will go to, and you will go to those places usually, sometimes in regular cases, if you're not influenced by someone to go to a place or invited and you go out of curiosity. Usually you an individual who knows themselves, who know the type of people that they associate with, and they would pick the type of clubs and events. They would pick because the place that you choose to go to really and truly has a lot to do with the type of people that you would meet at that place. They carry what should I say? They carry a clientele. So whether it is suggested or just outrightly stated that this is the clientele that we cater for, is there. See, some people just don't know about it. Some people don't have their discernment trained to pick up on it, and other people, they might be a little bit swayed by societal conditioning, especially if you grew up in places where you was always taught to respect your elders and look respectfully on the members of a society. Some people build up a condition where they look for the best in individuals first, and they do it to the degree where they desensitize a certain level of discernment, and that could happen. So with this individual, I remember thinking to myself, hey, I could trust this individual. I know stuff about him. But the thing is, people change. The same way you might wake up and say, well, hey, look, I don't like the way things are changing. Or maybe you might be under some financial pressure and make a decision to probably play the lottery, So that is one of the factors that every individual in every different community have to take into consideration. The individual that you're going by, if they know your beliefs, if they know, if they get an impression about the type of individual that you are they gonna have something against you? And if they have some kind of spiritual conditioning, would they try to deliberately harm you without your knowledge? If that individual has made compromises themselves. You never know the kinds of energies that is existing in the office and in the business place and in wherever you might go. So in pregnancy, you're already vulnerable energetically because your body is under a lot of pressure, creating and co-creating new life on the inside there. So how can I compare this to, that's not going to compare it to eating and niggeritis. A lot of Caribbean folks know about niggeritis. Pregnancy, the first trimester of pregnancy is a lot like niggeritis. At that point in time, if you're not surrounded by individuals who are spiritually alert themselves, or if you haven't really been very diligent, or you're not really fully spiritually covered or there, or even if it is just a matter of time and unforeseen occurrences, this is something to take into consideration that would decrease the likelihood of you or your unborn child losing life, or for you to be seriously injured, or for something just traumatizing and unnecessary to occur. So this was really interesting for me because I never really considered it. Sometimes I would go to certain places and feel really uncomfortable, but then I would still stay, and sometimes the most awkward and disturbing things might happen. You might just end up being some kind of homosexual or something, or some kind of something that really and truly I do not want to be a part of, or some kind of drugs or something selling in the background, or somebody making some kind of fear some way, and you don't really want to, if you know that it's taking place, you will not feel comfortable with it. Each of us have a compass. Everybody knows about it. Most of the people who went to church will call it their conscience. Some spiritual people will call it intuition. Some people just say spirit guide. Some people might say Holy Spirit. To each his own. That's not what we're talking about here today. The point is to know yourself and to know your group and to know your, that's what is called in a lot of spiritual communities, is called your soul family, or your spiritual family, or your spiritual community of people. And there are prayers, like the same way we would say prayers for finances and everything. We can, as individual, pray to be connected and yoked with our spiritual family and our spiritual tribe, so that we are not overtaken by any other malicious, because at the end of the day we have to understand that trucks are going by. We have to understand and accept that in the 21st century we're not really I shouldn't say we're not really the most intelligent version of humanity. That's not really what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that we're not the most exposed information-wise concerning our own identities and the true nature of how things happen and come to pass in our physical reality, and what really brings it about. But what we do know and what we do have is how to cover ourselves and how to survive and continue to grow and not fall apart and break to ashes and end up eventually being so overwhelmed that suicide becomes an option. Because really, for children of light, suicide is never an option. The option is to refill their cup so you can continue to flow. So I hope this message was helpful to you. Shalom, and see you in the next video. Take care.